Namaskar. Welcome to Something's Cooking with Them. Today's special Easter recipe is a delicious chicken fried rice like you have never eaten before. You need to follow 3 important steps to reach perfection. So let's get started. Step number 1. Prepare your own chicken stock. Step number 2. Cook the rice in the chicken stock, allow it to cool, and then refrigerate it. Step number 3. Marinate chicken for maximum flavors. And your chicken fried rice is ready.
Soak some long grain basmati rice in some water for at least half an hour and keep it aside. Now let's get started with the most important part of our recipe, the making of the chicken stock. For this you will need some star anise, a stick or two of cinnamon, bay leaves, black cardamom, green cardamom, a pinch of mace, peppercorns, allspice leaves, and some rock salt. You'll need thrice the amount of water to the amount of stock you need to make. Here I took 12 cups of water since I needed to make 4 cups of stock. Add chicken bits and bones and bring it to a boil. Add in all your whole spices, a whole garlic, and a whole onion, and give it all a stir. Turn down the heat and bring the liquid to a simmer. Now add in a whole dried lime. If you don't have dried lime at home, you can just add in a few teaspoons of lime juice. That'll do the work too. Now add in a leaf or two of allspice leaves. That gives it a really fragrant flavor. One important point to be noted is that you need to keep your spices whole. Don't powder your spices. If you powder your spices, you will lose the color of the stock. The stock will not be golden in color. It will be a murkish brown. So remember the step, keep your spices whole. Keep simmering the liquid for at least 1 hour. Your broth is now ready and it should be looking like this. Use a fine sieve and strain off the liquid into a clean bowl. Just look at how golden and perfect that chicken broth is. This broth is flavored with chicken and spices and it is a flavor bomb. Now coming to the second step. Now you're going to cook the soaked rice in this chicken broth. I have 2 cups of rice with me, so I'm going to use 4 cups of chicken broth. Bring the chicken stock to a boil. Now add in your soaked rice and give it a stir. Make sure that you stir it only once at this point. You might be tempted to stir it later on during the cooking procedure, but do not. This is the only time you're allowed to stir your rice. Keep your flame on high and cook this mixture for 7 minutes uncovered. I repeat, it has to be on high heat for 7 minutes uncovered. After 7 minutes, your rice should be looking something like this. Even though there's no water at the top of the surface, there's a lot of water at the bottom. So, bring your heat to low and cook this for an additional 4 minutes covered. Turn off the flame after exactly 4 minutes and your rice should be perfectly cooked. Notice that you did not add any salt or any spices to the water in which you were cooking the rice, because the broth had already all those flavors packed in, which are now incorporated in the rice. So you now will be having the most flavorful rice that you can eat by its own, or you can make a fried rice with. Now allow the rice to cool naturally and refrigerate it for later use, because we're going to make a fried rice.
Coming to the third important step of this recipe, that is marinating the chicken. Check our Indian taco video to get the recipe for the marinade. Take some oil in a pan and stir fry your marinated chicken. The frying of the chicken should take almost 7 to 8 minutes. Make sure that it is cooked on all the sides, because finally we are going to cut them into small pieces, small chunks, to add them to the chicken fried rice. Now for the final recipe, we'll need some julienne cabbage, some chopped beans, carrots and capsicum, and some finely chopped garlic. Also, we'd like to add some green peas. Now take a pan, heat it, add some oil. This oil is the residual oil that we used from the chicken fat. Now add some butter. Now add your vegetables one by one. First we add in the carrots because it takes longer time to cook. Now add in your chopped garlic. Add in your cabbages, capsicum, your green peas, beans. Mix them all together. Just give it a stir. Let them cook evenly. You want your vegetables to look green and fresh, so do not cover it with a lid. Now you can add a pinch of salt and again mix it all thoroughly well. Now add in your chopped chicken pieces. Mix them all together. And then when you know that all of them have mixed together, you can now add the rice which you had already cooked and refrigerated. Now we're mixing the rice and all the vegetables and the chicken and mixing all of them together. To retain the length of the rice grains, just mix it together very gently. After all of them are mixed well, you can now cover it with a lid and cook it for another 5 minutes.
Now your flavorful chicken fried rice, like you've never had before, is ready to be relished. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please make it and leave your comments in the comments below.